And this cannot be, because we really need leaders who are competent, who are honest, and who are servants of the people. And that is why yesterday I was so inspired that despite the fact that it was a holiday, so many people came to listen to Chief Justice Puno talk about transforming ourselves and transforming the nation by really electing very good leaders.
If that is the mood that you experienced yesterday with the Chief Justice, but then trying to inform and educate our people, because if you look at the structure of those who were voting in 2010, how many % of those really, among the voting population, understand what your advocacy is all about? And if you took a look at the level of poverty in this country, I mean, ilan porsyento talaga yung dapat maintindihan kung ano yung isinusulong ninyo.
Kaya nga, Freddy, no, ikaw, ako, si Quintin, lahat ng mga tao na professional, nasa middle income, kailangan lumabas tayong lahat. Let us go out of our shell to be able to work with people who are in the other classes. Yung mga, sabi mong mas mahirap kesa sa atin, kailangan lumabas tayo para ma-influensya natin sila na hindi bumoto lamang sa popularidad, pero bumoto ng tamang tao na talagang hindi sila lolokohin, mapapatakbo yung ating bansa, yung parang sinasabi ni Quintin na kapitan ng barko, at talagang maglilingkod sa kanila ng tapat na may integridad.
Pero hindi natin may iiwasan na kung in an election, I mean, especially those who are seeking maybe the presidency, given the experiences that you and I have gone through, is that money can work. You know, I mean, one candidate has prepared for his campaign about maybe 1 to 2 billion, and after that, if he wins, whoever this candidate is, will have to regain that, recover that, by the way.
Yeah.
And how many times more does he have to recover? Because you made mention about patriotism.
Yun nga, kaya lang, ang pag-asa natin ngayon, yung kabataan. Kasi malaking puwersa yun di ba? Kasi yung mga batang nag-aaral sa kolehiyo, yung mga batang nasa 4th year, yung mga kahit na out of school youth, pero mga kabataan kasi sila talaga yung mag-iisip ng ano ba talaga yung dapat sa bayan. So, sana hindi sila ma-impluwensya ng pangangailangan nila sa pera.
Anong klaseng advocacy yung ginagawa ninyo now? I mean, you have media, multimedia na general.
Kaya lang mahal wala naman kaming masyadong pera. Kaya ang ginagawa namin, talagang hirap na hirap. Pumupunta kami sa mga paaralan, pumupunta kami sa mga probinsya, at nakikipagtrabaho kami sa mga volunteers to be able to enable people to rise above the level of advertisements, above publicity, at makipagtalakayan.
So what are you doing now, when you speak about this? If you don't have the resources to do it, how do you generate that kind of support? And what should be the list of priorities in terms of what you intend to tell our young people that this is how they should act when elections will come?
The movement for good governance and the moral force movement is primarily made of volunteers. So, for example, we started with going to Girls Town and Boys Town with Mrs. Marixie Prieto. 5,000 students yun, who will influence their parents and their families. Mamalaki-laki na rin yun, di ba? So, every Saturday, every Sunday, we move from one school to the other. And probably Quintin can tell you what you're doing also.
Of course. Actually, the concrete programs we have at Movement for Good Governance and our partners now is actually spreading as we speak. Unang-una yung sa Youth Vote. Youth Vote is one of our partners. So I mentioned Kaya natin earlier, which is focusing on local governance. Sa Youth Vote naman, we're looking at strategic cities around the country wherein the voting population is quite large. No? And at the same time, if you look at these cities, the composition of the voters reflect the national average. No? 50% of the country is under 22 years old. 60% of the voting population that's going to vote in 2010 is between 18 to 40 years old. That's your challenge, but that's also your opportunity. So yung ginagawa po ng mga grupo ng youth, kagaya ng Youth Vote, is to do voters registration out there. Because even if the potential is big, if they're not registered by October 31, then that already spells doom for the election, and it gives way to the traditional politics, as you mentioned. So yung ginagawa po namin is the voters registration. This drive is ongoing right now. We have voter caravans ongoing in each of the key cities around the country. And yung key cities na yan are serving as hubs for the rural areas to come to also. So very strategic po yung ginagawa ng youth vote. And so far that's been a success naman po. And they're the only group, NGO, that is partnered with COMELEC, that COMELEC recognizes to host these voter registration drives. As in the counting machines, the voter registration machines are also there. So that's a good start. Then pangalawa, yung mention talakayan. We actually have a series of forums that are interactive, multimedia, reachable by radio, by internet, and by print ad, and by live audience also. So we've had the first one, I think a month ago, with education as the focus area. And in next month, we will do the economy now, which is a very important topic. What differentiates our forums from the other debates, so to speak, is that number one, the OFW population can watch it. Because we have Radio Veritas, Philstar.com. So you're looking at new media, old media, covering this, so that the overseas population, the rural areas, and students in their schools are actually watching these forums as we speak. That's also the attraction for why the 13 presidential votes will end up going to these forums, because they can reach their audience better. And the goal here for us, you're looking at different caravans. Every candidate, every partisan group has their own, meron silang sariling manok. They have their own caravans. But nobody is building the road to 2010. You know, COMELEC is trying to do this. Other government agencies are trying to do this. What the Movement for Good Governance is trying to do is help level the playing field for all honest reform candidates to come out and they get a shot at sharing their programs and hopefully winning the elections. It's a good start, I think.
When you talk about reform and honest candidates, you have plenty of them seeking to be there and being part of the field. And just looking at their track record, does any one of them fall in that lineup where you think they have the qualifications to serve our people in our country?
Honestly, if you look for the three characteristics, medyo wala, di ba?
Mahirap pa yun?
Mahirap kasi yung competence to be a president, it's a very difficult characteristic.
What does it take to have the competence to become the president?
Parang si Ramos, di ba? So yung kapitan ng barko, he has a vision and he knows how to get there. Di ba? So you have to find another Ramos. The second one is kailangan nga, steward. Diba? Yung talagang he's not there for his own interest, but he's really there because of the love for country. Talagang genuine yung kanyang pagmamahal sa mahirap. Parang si Chief Justice, kung magsalita siya, talagang kitang-kita mo yung kanyang sinseridad, lumalabas sa kanyang mukha. At talagang yung integridad, kailangan din yun. Medyo mahirap yun, diba? Tsaka kailangan kasi reformist because our institutions have been destroyed. Yung lahat may presyo, lahat tinatanggal.